In the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, somewhere beyond the horizon of recorded history, there may have once existed a civilization so powerful that ancient writers believed it ruled much of the known world. A civilization with massive stone harbors, enormous temples plated in shining metals, and a navy capable of dominating the seas. But according to one of the most mysterious stories ever written, this entire civilization vanished in a single day, not slowly, not over centuries, but suddenly, destroyed by earthquakes, floods, and the unstoppable force of the ocean itself. The city disappeared beneath the waves, its people gone, its buildings buried, its memory surviving only through fragments of ancient texts. This is the legend of Atlantis, and for more than 2,000 years, historians have asked the same haunting question: was Atlantis real? Or was it simply a story? The mystery begins with one man, the ancient Greek philosopher Plato. Around 360 BC, Plato wrote two famous dialogues describing a powerful island civilization that existed long before his time. According to Plato, this civilization was located beyond what the ancient Greeks called the Pillars of Hercules. Today, we know this place as the gateway between the Mediterranean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean, the narrow passage known as the Strait of Gibraltar. Beyond that gateway, Plato claimed, there once existed a massive island, a place unlike anything else in the ancient world. He called it Atlantis. Plato described the capital city of Atlantis with astonishing detail. At the center of the island stood a magnificent city built in perfectly circular rings. Alternating bands of land and water surrounded the central palace. Massive canals connected the rings, allowing ships to sail directly into the heart of the city. Bridges crossed the waterways, and docks were filled with trading vessels arriving from distant lands. But what truly made Atlantis extraordinary was its wealth. Plato described temples covered in golden walls decorated with a mysterious shining metal known as orichalcoma, substance that ancient writers claimed glowed like fire in the sunlight. Inside the city stood enormous statues, including a gigantic golden figure of the sea god Poseidon riding a chariot pulled by winged horses. According to the story, Atlantis was not just beautiful, it was powerful. Its people had mastered engineering, agriculture, and naval warfare. Their empire stretched across islands and coastal territories. Their fleets controlled the seas, and their capital city became one of the most advanced urban centers the ancient world had ever known. But power often changes civilizations, and according to Plato's account, Atlantis eventually changed for the worse. As the Atlanteans grew wealthier, they also became more ambitious. Their rulers sought greater power, their armies expanded, and their empire began conquering lands far beyond their island. Eventually, Plato wrote, Atlantis launched a massive military campaign across the Mediterranean. Only one civilization was able to stop them: ancient Athens. In Plato's story, the Athenians defeated the Atlantean forces in a legendary war. But that victory would soon become meaningless, because shortly after the conflict, something catastrophic happened. Plato described a series of violent earthquakes, massive floods, and a natural disaster so powerful that it reshaped the land itself. Then came the final moment. In what Plato described as a single terrible day and night, the island of Atlantis sank into the ocean. The sea swallowed the city, ships disappeared beneath the waves, and the entire civilization vanished, leaving behind only silence. For centuries, scholars believed Plato had invented Atlantis as a philosophical allegory, a warning about the dangers of greed, arrogance, and imperial ambition. But in the modern age, that assumption has started to change, because over the last 100 years, Archaeologists have uncovered civilizations far older and far more advanced than historians once believed possible. Cities buried beneath jungles, ruins hidden beneath desert sands, and even entire structures lying beneath the ocean floor. Each discovery raises a new possibility. What if Atlantis wasn't just a story? What if Plato was describing the distant memory of a real civilization destroyed by a catastrophic natural disaster? If such a civilization existed, it might still be out there, hidden beneath layers of ocean sediment, waiting to be discovered. But finding Atlantis is not as simple as searching one location, because over the last century, researchers have proposed dozens of possible places where the lost city might have existed, from volcanic islands in the Mediterranean to mysterious formations deep in the Atlantic Ocean. And some of those discoveries are so strange that they have forced scientists to reconsider the possibility that the legend of Atlantis may contain a fragment of historical truth. To understand where Atlantis might be hidden, we must follow the clues left behind in ancient texts, geological evidence, and archaeological discoveries, because somewhere between myth and science, the truth about Atlantis may still be waiting to be found. If you enjoyed this journey into one of history's greatest mysteries, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Thanks for watching. For centuries, the story of Atlantis remained trapped inside ancient texts, a fascinating legend, but nothing more. Then the 20th century arrived, and suddenly, the search for Atlantis became something very different. Not mythology, but investigation. Explorers, historians, and archaeologists began asking a serious question. If Atlantis was real, where would we expect to find it? Plato's description provided the first clue. He wrote that Atlantis existed beyond the ancient Pillars of Hercules. Today, that location corresponds to the narrow entrance between the Mediterranean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean, the place we now call the Strait of Gibraltar. Beyond that gateway lies one of the largest bodies of water on Earth, the Atlantic Ocean. For many researchers, this detail seemed extremely important, because if Plato's description was accurate, Atlantis may have been located somewhere in the Atlantic itself. Some explorers began focusing their attention on a remote group of volcanic islands located in the middle of that ocean, the Azores. These islands sit on top of a massive underwater plateau rising from the depths of the Atlantic seabed. Some researchers believe this plateau could once have been part of a much larger landmass thousands of years ago. If sea levels rose dramatically after the last ice age, parts of that land could now be submerged beneath the ocean. It was a compelling idea, but there was a problem. Despite numerous oceanographic surveys, scientists have never discovered clear evidence of a massive ancient city beneath the waters surrounding the Azores, which forced researchers to consider another possibility. What if Atlantis was not located in the Atlantic Ocean at all? What if Plato story described a civilization closer to the Mediterranean world he knew? That possibility led historians to one of the most fascinating archaeological discoveries of the modern era, an ancient civilization that flourished thousands of years ago on the island of Crete. Today we call it the Minoan civilization. The Minoans were one of the most advanced societies of the Bronze Age. They built large palaces with complex architecture. They developed sophisticated art, trade networks, and maritime technology, and for centuries, their ships controlled trade routes across the Mediterranean Sea. Their capital city, centered around the Palace of Knossos, was filled with elaborate buildings, colorful murals, and advanced infrastructure. In many ways, the Minoan civilization sounded remarkably similar to Plato's description of Atlantis. But the most intriguing connection came from a nearby island located just north of Crete, Santorini today. Santorini is famous for its dramatic cliffs and white buildings overlooking the sea. But thousands of years ago, this island experienced one of the most powerful volcanic eruptions in human history. Around 1600 BCE, the volcano at Santorini exploded with unimaginable force. The eruption blasted huge amounts of ash and rock into the atmosphere. Entire sections of the island collapsed into the sea. The explosion created massive tsunamis that raced across the Mediterranean. Some waves may have reached heights of more than 30 meters. When those waves reached the shores of Crete, they would have devastated coastal cities and ports. Trade networks collapsed, naval power disappeared, and one of the most advanced civilizations of the ancient world suddenly entered a rapid decline. For some historians, the similarities were impossible to ignore. A powerful island civilization, destroyed by a catastrophic natural disaster. Its cities buried beneath ash and water. Over time, the memory of that disaster could have transformed into the legend Plato later recorded. But not everyone agrees with this theory, because there are still details in Plato's story that do not perfectly match the Minoan world. For example, Plato described Atlantis as being located beyond the Mediterranean, and he claimed the island sank completely beneath the ocean. Santorini, however, still exists, and the Minoan civilization, although devastated, did not vanish in a single day. Which brings us to another mystery. In recent decades, advanced underwater exploration technology has begun revealing strange structures on the ocean floor in several parts of the world. Stone formations, possible ancient walls, and even geometric patterns that appear surprisingly artificial. Some of these discoveries have sparked intense debate among scientists. Are these formations natural geological features, or could they be the remains of ancient human construction now hidden beneath the sea? The truth is, we still don't know. But every new discovery adds another piece to the puzzle, because if Atlantis truly existed, its ruins may still be out there, hidden somewhere beneath thousands of meters of ocean water. And as underwater exploration technology continues to improve, humanity may be closer than ever to solving the mystery of the lost city. But there is one final question we must confront. Even if Atlantis was real, what kind of catastrophe could destroy an entire civilization in a single day and night? To answer that question, scientists have begun studying some of the most powerful natural disasters our planet is capable of producing: earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and massive tsunamis, capable of erasing entire coastal cities. Because somewhere in Earth's violent geological history, there may be a disaster powerful enough to explain the sudden destruction of Atlantis. For centuries, the destruction of Atlantis sounded like pure myth, an entire civilization disappearing in a single day and night. Cities swallowed by the sea, an island vanishing beneath the ocean. But modern science has revealed something unsettling. Events like this are not impossible. In fact, Earth has experienced disasters powerful enough to erase entire civilizations. To understand how Atlantis might have vanished, scientists began studying the most destructive forces on our planet: volcanic eruptions, mega-earthquakes, and the enormous waves they can unleash across the oceans. One of the best examples comes from the island of Santorini. Thousands of years ago, the volcano on this island produced one of the most powerful eruptions in recorded human history. The explosion was so violent that it blew apart large portions of the island itself. Ash clouds darkened the sky across the eastern Mediterranean. Entire cities were buried beneath volcanic debris, And then came the waves. When large sections of the island collapsed into the sea, massive tsunamis spread across the region. Some scientists believe these waves may have reached heights of more than 30 meters. When such waves strike coastal cities, the destruction is almost unimaginable. Buildings collapse. Ships are thrown inland. Entire settlements can disappear in minutes. History provides other examples of disasters just as powerful. In 1883, the eruption of Krakatoa in Indonesia produced explosions heard thousands of kilometers away. The eruption triggered massive tsunamis that destroyed coastal towns and killed tens of thousands of people. More recently, the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami demonstrated how quickly entire communities can be erased by the sea. Walls of water swept across coastlines, destroying cities within minutes. When scientists compare these events to Plato's description of Atlantis, the similarities are difficult to ignore. A powerful natural disaster, sudden destruction, and an island civilization overwhelmed by the ocean. But the question remains, if Atlantis really existed, why hasn't it been found? The answer may lie beneath thousands of meters of water. Exploring the deep ocean is one of the greatest technological challenges humanity faces. More than 80% of the ocean floor remains unmapped and unexplored. Hidden beneath those waters could be ancient landscapes that once stood above sea level thousands of years ago. During the last ice age, global sea levels were much lower than they are today. Entire coastlines that once supported human settlements are now submerged beneath the ocean. If a civilization like Atlantis existed along those ancient shorelines, its ruins could now lie far beneath the waves. Over the last few decades, researchers have begun using advanced sonar technology to scan the ocean floor, and occasionally they find something strange. Structures that appear geometric, lines and formations that seem too regular to be completely natural. One of the most famous discoveries is located near the island of Bimini in the Bahamas. Divers exploring the seabed discovered a formation now known as the Bimini Road. Large rectangular stones arranged in what appears to be a long underwater pathway. Some researchers believe it could be the remains of an ancient harbor or wall. Others argue it is simply a natural rock formation, shaped by geological processes. Even today, the debate continues, and Bimini is not the only mysterious discovery. Around the world, underwater explorers have discovered submerged ruins, ancient walls, and structures hidden beneath layers of sediment. Some belong to known civilizations, others remain unexplained. Every new discovery raises another possibility. What if Atlantis is not a single place? What if the legend is actually a memory of several ancient coastal civilizations destroyed by rising seas and catastrophic disasters? Over thousands of years, those memories could have merged into a single story. A story that survived through oral traditions before eventually reaching Plato. If that theory is correct, Atlantis may never be discovered as a single lost city. Instead, its truth may be scattered across many ancient ruins hidden beneath the oceans of our planet, but the mystery is far from solved. Every year, new technologies allow scientists to explore deeper parts of the ocean floor. Autonomous underwater vehicles map landscapes that no human has ever seen, and each expedition reveals how much of our planet remains unknown. Somewhere beneath the vast waters of the Atlantic Ocean, ancient secrets may still be waiting, buried beneath layers of sand and sediment, hidden in darkness where sunlight has never reached. And perhaps one day, a discovery will finally reveal whether Atlantis was merely a legend, or the forgotten memory of a real civilization that once rose to incredible power before vanishing beneath the sea.